Greetings. This is Jed Shlackman. I work as a holistic counselor, an energy healer, and hypnotherapist. I'm also an author, and in this video I'll be reading a section of one of my books. The book is Past Lives, Spiritual Regression, Limitless Consciousness, and Self-Integration. This is section 2 of the book, The Journey Within. Growing up as a child, I never could have imagined how my focus in life and worldview would radically shift as I grew older. As youths, we often have our minds focused on being liked and accepted and being successful in some vocation. We may envision pursuing dreams of being something impressive or thrilling, or of finding a mate and having families of our own. As we become consumed with those pursuits or with surviving in a stressful, challenging world, we may neglect to consider what context our life fits into. What is the purpose of this life? Does one's life contribute to something beyond its physical confines, beyond its tiny imprint on human history? Religions often give people second-hand, dogmatic answers to those questions. We are told something is true because of tradition, because a revered text says so, or because some person deemed to have knowledge or wisdom claims it to be so. Sciences, on the other hand, seek to provide answers based upon a narrow range of perception and measurement. They are often materialistically biased, rejecting or avoiding the relevance or input from what people encounter within their consciousness. In reaction to religious superstitions, science has introduced its own popular dogmas, as well as biases against spiritual concepts and extrasensory forms of knowing and perception. I was raised in an agnostic home environment and wasn't inclined to actively pursue truth about the bigger spiritual questions until my college years. Once I did begin that quest, it became compelling and captivating. I soon became a prolific reader, with reading materials of my own choosing, unlike school where one reads a lot of material from a set of books chosen mainly by instructors, and began exploring practices such as meditation, hypnosis, spiritual healing, and listening to spirits speak through mediums. The more I learned, the more I realized that I didn't know, and that humanity in general is very much misinformed and limited in awareness about their spiritual nature and what role their life here may play in a much bigger picture of creation. I completed my graduate education in psychology and counseling at the University of Miami in 1996, having just begun to deeply explore religious and spiritual ideas for my own evolution and self-identification. Coming from a strong academic foundation of science and critical intellectual thought, it was hard for me to embrace religious concepts or doctrines based upon blind faith or cultural conformity. I wanted to investigate and have some logic and reason to support what I would choose to consider as true. Thus, I gravitated toward exploring parapsychology and documented accounts of people's genuine experiences involving non-local consciousness, healing energies, reincarnational memories, and related phenomena. This led me to study practicing energy healing myself, Reiki and other energy healing modalities, as well as to become a hypnotherapist and practice regression therapy, where I guide people to connect with the deeper levels of their own consciousness and whatever needs to be brought to the surface for reprocessing or release. Hypnosis refers to a practice of using techniques to access the unconscious, subconscious, or superconscious mind. Most of the contents of our consciousness exist on those deeper levels rather than in our momentary conscious awareness. Ironically, my training in college, designed to help students understand the mind and help people with psychological challenges, did not include training on using hypnosis. This is a striking example of how limited the awareness of much of the mainstream of our society is. The foundation of training to help people prepare to counsel others and heal the mind fails to include instruction on the most direct and powerful method of accessing most of what exists in a person's consciousness. The first instructional book on hypnosis that I ever purchased and read was one for laypersons that I picked up at a neighbor's moving sale while I was in college. It was just a few years after that when I decided to seek full professional training in hypnotherapy. The more I've progressed and experienced with these practices, the more I value the deeper wisdom and spiritual intelligences that are guiding the process. Also, I recognize that these phenomena don't fit neatly into some of the conceptual boxes or dogmas that some people have sought to contain them in. Consciousness is truly limitless, and we can potentially access anything in existence, which includes concrete memories and history, as well as archetypal and symbolic imagery and information. We perceive things through the subconscious filters that our personalities have accumulated. One person may project out of their body and see a being of light. Another might see an image of Jesus. Another might see Krishna. Another sees an iconic angel figure. Another sees a Greek goddess, etc. Higher intelligences or higher aspects of ourselves typically communicate to our minds using what we can relate to or have familiarity with. Thus, there can be a lot of confusion about what is true in the metaphysical realms, since people have their subjective overlays that influence how they perceive things. Even in our everyday lives, we are giving subjective meanings to what we witness and experience. I will discuss some common themes that I find significant as they appear in regression therapy. Keep in mind that people can have a variety of experiences when connecting with their inner awareness while in the hypnotic state. Many people access current life memories, while others access what appear as historical past lives or future lives. Some experience being non-human life forms, including animals, elements, extraterrestrials, and plants. Some may encounter deceased loved ones or other spiritual beings that wish to connect or share with them. Some witness themselves preparing to enter their human mother's womb and what occurs during the pregnancy. Some review the process of selecting their current or past incarnation, a process that can be complex, as multiple beings are contributing to the decision of what will be agreed upon for the basic blueprint of the upcoming Earth life. Others may receive messages about their lives or any questions or concerns they have had. Major common themes in regression sessions include people being shown that the souls of people significant to them in their present life were also key figures in their other lifetimes. It appears that souls collaborate in clusters or groups, sometimes called soul families, to play roles in the physical plane to foster one another's growth and evolution. These soul collectives coordinate in between incarnations from the spiritual realm to select the planned paths of experience, including important circumstances of their lifetimes. People encountering a particular issue or pattern across a series of incarnations. This might be a pattern in the personality or the type of role that someone plays. Sometimes people are exploring an issue by playing different roles in different lifetimes in the situation or relationship. It could be that someone is both the abused and the abuser, the thief and the person robbed, the teacher and the student, etc. Uncovering the causes of present life physical and psychological difficulties. A person's present life depression may stem from depression, heartache, loss, or grief from another time. An anxiety or phobia may stem from a trauma in another lifetime. A physical illness may be related to an injury to the body or a harmful behavior or emotional trauma in another life. Life is not really as random as we may think. There are meaningful patterns and energies shaping what is unfolding in our lives, often for the purpose of catalyzing opportunities for healing or resolving issues that were activated in another time. Our incarnational progression may not conform to the flow of linear time. Your last lifetime may have been in the future. Your next lifetime may be in the historical past. You could even have overlapping lives where one incarnation is born prior to the death of the other. This is because incarnations are streams of spiritual energy and consciousness coming from the soul, often referred to as higher self. The soul exists at a level of vibration beyond our experience of time and space, and can project its focus of awareness into any time and place on the physical plane. It is not limited by linear time and can choose to follow a linear time sequence to experience its incarnations, but can also choose a non-linear sequence of incarnations. Many of those currently experiencing Earth life are souls that had previously, in their progression of experience, explored and learned via experiences as beings on other planets in this galaxy or universe, or even in other universes or other dimensions. Thus, some people have memories of being extraterrestrials that look much different than modern Earth humans. Some people will have their other extraterrestrial incarnational personalities appear as their quote-unquote guides, as they are part of the same soul and are contributing to that soul's evolution. One regression therapist who worked a lot with extraterrestrial phenomena was the prolific author and founder of quantum healing hypnosis technique, Dolores Cannon. Cannon's sessions evolved over time, moving in her later years toward more deep direct communication with the soul and its support in healing, as well as revelations about ETs and their role on Earth. There is a process of mastery occurring involving a variety of challenges offered by the Earth experience. There is mastery of physical issues in the body, mastery of emotions, intellect, and spiritual and psychic development. There is a process of learning about matters such as love, compassion, gratitude, forgiveness, peace, cooperation, power, creativity, abundance, and pretty much any psychological or spiritual concept you may think of. In the plane of duality, we learn about things through contrast. For example, experiences of war and conflict contribute to understanding and mastering peace. Experiencing being mistreated brings an opportunity to learn about forgiveness. In creating the stories and dramas of our existence, we work off of basic archetypal energies or templates. Throughout history, people have worked with a variety of systems and divination practices that use archetypes to provide an understanding of these dynamics. Astrology, enneagrams, runes, tarot cards, angels and archangels, alchemy, animal totems, gods and goddesses, and other elements of religious and cultural traditions are methods of encoding archetypes for our minds to relate to. As spiritual beings, we are eternal and are having physical lives to gain experience and greater mastery of the creative process. Consciousness creates. It does so continually. As it receives feedback from what it has created, it uses that feedback to guide whatever is created next. The physical plane or density level merely provides a slowed down vibration level and the construct of time to help facilitate a more thorough learning process than would be available in a purely spiritual state. There is a wide range of levels of spiritual maturity or development among people present upon Earth. Some are focused mostly on survival issues or worldly pursuits like money, sex, and power. Others may be more focused on being of service to others, on developing the mind, or in reconnecting with spiritual awareness. This diversity provides an exceptional opportunity for all involved to learn from one another. Those who may be spiritually conscious and full of compassion and empathy will be faced with challenges of interacting with others who have much different values and perspectives. Those who are very materialistic and caught up in physical sensation seeking will have the opportunity to learn from those who are more philosophical and sophisticated in their outlook on life. The concept of karma is one that many people may wish to re-examine. Karma refers to action and to cause-effect relationships. If we consider the metaphysical ideas of the law of attraction, like energy attracts like energy, and the nature of the mind and emotions as creative forces, then we can see how the patterns held in our consciousness and energy are guiding what comes into our experience. This means that we can internally shift our consciousness and energy and change what manifests outwardly. Therefore, it is not a cosmic justice system of punishment or reward. It is a metaphysical feedback system designed to help us balance and transform our consciousness. Only if there is something that we wish to carry into our present life from another lifetime will it appear as though we are facing karma from that other time. Our spiritual self has chosen to re-explore the particular issue or pattern in order to enable transformation, not to reward or punish ourselves according to some divine moral laws. Remembering that the incarnation process does not have to follow linear time, how could our current life experience or circumstance really be destined to depend upon what we did in another life? Our culturally and socially conditioned human personalities have beliefs about morals and right and wrong and punishment and reward. Yet let's step back and look rationally at the circumstances of life. We are all born into unique sets of circumstances and start off life unequal in terms of many different variables. We are equal in the sense that we are all spiritual beings that originate from a limitless creative source. We may also wish to have rules for equal rights recognized for everyone in our society, yet life is inherently not fair in the way many people think of fairness and justice. No cosmic, karmic justice system could ever produce equality or justice in the worldly sense. It isn't necessary anyway. Since it is all just an illusory role-play game to help develop our consciousness, it ultimately doesn't matter that the human personality has experienced or perpetrated rape, murder, theft, grief, neglect, abandonment, torture, disease, or anything else. We can do our best to help modify human behavior and create a more harmonious society, but the Creator isn't watching over us like a cosmic Santa Claus seeking to reward or punish people across multiple lifetimes for their actions. There are merely the natural consequences of our actions that bring us feedback to foster growth and change. When we come to the end of a lifetime and return to the spiritual plane, we gather with our spiritual mentors and helpers to review our life and evaluate our progress. We aren't seeking to condemn or punish ourselves, although sometimes that consciousness is still present in the human personality and is carried further until it is recognized and healed. At the conclusion of a lifetime, sometimes the soul is eager to jump back into the earth realm and incarnate in a new body, while other times there may be a desire to have more extensive experience between lives in the spiritual realm to learn and grow there before returning to experience another human life. This includes section 2 of the book. Once again, you can find the book on Amazon. And for those that are interested in holistic health and spirituality, I invite you to visit my website, phinsights.com, phinsights.com. For now, I'm wishing each of you a wonderful day. Namaste.